In this Excel 2013 tutorial, let's practice understanding absolute versus relative cell referencing. I have to admit this is one of the concepts that are more confusing. So if you can understand this difficult concept, consider yourself among the elite, and perhaps you will be the honored candidate who will stand out and be exalted to be a corporate secretary. Who knows? So we begin by typing in some numbers here. And from a previous video, you know how to add up find the sum of these values. You can type in equals sum bracket, highlight, and then press enter, or you can even close the parenthesis and press enter. So we find the sum of these numbers, and I made it bold just so you can see it a bit better, and it's 15. Furthermore, we can click on this auto sum button, and we know that already. And for those of you who remember autofill, you can even drag the bottom right corner and pull it out, and this is fine and dandy. All right, so let me press delete here. Okay, let's get to the topic here. So what we're doing here is when we copy this, right-click, copy. When you copy a formula, and we know that we're using a formula here, the key idea is that Excel is not copying the number. It's actually copying the formula. It's copying the pattern. So for example, if I copied number 15 here and I paste it here, let's say paste it here, what do you expect the value to be? So beginners might say, oh, you copy the number 15, it's going to be 15. I'm going to press Control V. Are you surprised why it's 18? Interesting. What's going to happen, what you can do is to investigate, is to go back and look at the formula. The formula here says equals sum B1 colon B3. B1 is here, B3 is here, colon means add up all the numbers in between, including the endpoints. 3 plus 6 is 9. 9 plus 9 is 18. Okay, now this makes sense. I see. So when we copy the formula and pasted the formula here, we're pasting the pattern. We're not pasting the value, pasting the pattern. What was that pattern? The pattern happened to be, so let me just delete this. The pattern happened to be from this location here that I'm pasting, it's going to add up 3 numbers above it. 1, 2, 3. That's the pattern. A1 is here. A3 is here, so it's going to add up 3 numbers above it. Now what if I copy this, Control C, and paste it 1 to the right, 1 down? What do you expect to happen? Let's try it. Control V. Whoa, why is it 15? Let's think about it. You look at the formula, B2 to B4. So B2 is here, B3 is here, B4 is here. So we're basically copying the pattern being adding the 3 numbers above it. So the 3 numbers above here is nothing plus 9 plus 6. So nothing plus 9 plus 6 is 15. Oh, so that makes sense. Now what if I were to copy this, Control C, and paste it over, let's say, down here? What do you expect the number to be? Can you guess? Control V. It's 10. Why? Because we're copying the pattern being adding up the 3 numbers above it. Nothing plus 10 is going to be 10. See, C3 is over here, and then C5 is over here. So when you're adding up these 3 numbers, we get 10. This makes sense. Okay, so this in itself is confusing, but let's try to get even more confusing. By the way, if you understood this, congratulations. You might have to rewind a couple times to understand, but here we go. Now, the idea of when you copy a cell formula and you paste it, we're using something called relative cell referencing. Relative in the sense that as you copy and paste the formulas, the actual pattern gets pasted over. So if I copy this formula, adding up the 3 numbers above it, and I move this down and right 1 cell, so 1 cell to the right, 1 cell down, we're copying that pattern. So all the columns and row gets shifted relative to its previous location. Now let's try absolute. So the idea here is I want to make the formula, you click back in the formula bar, with dollar signs. Dollar sign means that these, the column A, row 1, column A, row 3 never changes. So basically we're going to still sum up 2 plus 5 plus 8. However, we're always talking about these cells. So press enter. We're always talking specifically about this particular column A, as well as row 1 all the way to row 3. So we're always talking about these three numbers. So when I copy this and I paste it over one to the right, one down, we're always going to get 15. It doesn't matter, I can paste it here, we get 15. So the idea of a dollar sign is absolute self-referencing, which means that we're not going to change that particular column or row. Now here's where it gets even more confusing. What if we only make absolute the actual column? So here dollar sign $A means the column is fixed, but the row is still relative. So what's happening is we're fixing the column. What does that mean? As we copy this and I paste it one to the right, one down, can you guess what's going to happen? Well, we know that the column is fixed, so we're always talking about numbers in this column. However, the row got shifted down by 1. So instead of adding up 1, 2, 3, we're going to add up 1, 2, 3. So these three cells. So we're going to add up not in column B, but 1, 2, 3, column A. So let's paste it. Wow, it's trying to actually add these three numbers, which is 5 plus 8 plus 15. As you can see, to clarify things, go back to the formula. A2, dollar sign A, you can see A never changed. However, 2 to 4. So from talking about column A, from row 2, 3, 4. So that's what's happening. So we shifted down one row, but the column remained the same. Alright, so let's try one more, just to make sure that you're thoroughly confused. Alright, so let's be the angry instructor and make this impossible, make your brain explode. So what if we just fix the actual rows? So the column can change, but the rows never change. What does that mean? So let's try copying this formula and pasting it here. What's going to happen? So we know that the column can change. So we are talking about column B. However, the rows cannot change. So therefore, even though we go down one, we're still talking about these three rows. So I would say that the column can change. So we're talking about column B, but we're still talking about these three numbers. So therefore, we'll add up these three numbers. Is it 18? Yes, it is. Alright, for those of you who like to blow up your brains, try thinking about what the result would be if you stuck a dollar sign in front of the column and stuck the other dollar sign in front of the row. Alright, I think that's enough confusion for today, but if you do understand this might help you troubleshoot some more advanced problems in the future. Congratulations, you now have a little bit more insight about absolute versus relative self-referencing.